120 years earlier. The countless ways in which Victoria and her long reign shaped Britain, its society, and ultimately its empire, have long captured public imagination. How her rule and the lives of her 5 princess daughters prompted a popular interest in royal women is also of immense significance. The first volume in a pioneering study of medieval women, Lives of the Queens of England, was published 3 years after Victoria came to the throne. Written by Agnes Strickland, a poet who undertook research in partnership with her sister Elizabeth. In the decade that followed, the historian Mary Ann Everett Green published Letters of Royal and Illustrious Ladies of Great Britain, that for the first time gave a voice to medieval and early modern noblewomen. Her subsequent 6-volume masterpiece, Lives of the Princesses of England from the Norman Conquest, used her command of Latin and medieval French, and her access to original manuscripts, letters, and charters to construct short biographies of every princess between the reigns of William the Conqueror and Victoria. It remains one of the outstanding achievements of 19th-century biography. Across Europe at this time, as nations emerged from the Industrial Revolution, many of them developed an increasingly romanticized interest in their own histories and native mythologies, seeking connection to a pastoral, pre-industrialized past. In England, this led not only to a widespread interest in the lives of long-dead queens and princesses, but also in other aspects of the Middle Ages. Art and architecture began to feature distinctly medieval elements, such as the Gothic Revival Palace of Westminster, and literary works such as Alfred Lord Tennyson's poem Idylls of the King, which converted the ancient myth of King Arthur and his court at Camelot into a national epic, and paintings and stained glass panels by the artists known as the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood and their followers depicted scenes from medieval romances and folk tales. Guinevere and the Lady of the Lake, Fair Rosamond and Isolde, that brought these old stories to new audiences that were hungry to understand what set England apart from other nations. The romanticizing tendency of mostly male Victorian historians made it easy for genuine historical figures such as Fair Rosamond Clifford and the royal women that Strickland and Green wrote about to be melded in popular imagination alongside fictional heroines. Together with the Guineveres and Isoldes of medieval romance, the passive princesses of the fairy tales compiled by the German brothers Jakob and Wilhelm Grimm, whose works were translated into 19 separate English editions during Victoria's reign, became so well known that they created an expectation that real princesses would conform to these models. It was a pattern perfectly constructed for the burgeoning Victorian middle class, for whom a wife kept at home, safe from the tawdry bustle of the city and the labour market, was a mark of success. They took these newly idealized visions of princesses found in poems and artworks, acquiescent, serene beauties, and held them up as prime examples of womanhood. In many ways, we have failed to move on from the vision of the medieval past that we inherited from the Victorian era. Most of us, when we hear the word princess, still imagine a damsel trapped in a tower like the eponymous heroine of Tennyson's Lady of Shalott, loosely based on the medieval Arthurian tale of Elaine of Astolat. Tennyson's maiden